So this lesson on the education of sociology is about the middle class natures of schools, the unbearable middle classness of schools, how posh they are, especially how posh they seem to working class kids. Impact, proportion, language, ethos, ownership, dismissive, curriculum, EBAC. Right, previous lesson. Read that please. If you don't know the answers, look in the previous videos so you do know the answers. Let's move on. So, sociologists reckon, all the research points out to the fact that the 80-20, about 80% of your exam grades are due to factors outside of school. School's only about 20% of what decides what happens in school. It's important. That's an important 20%, but 80% is to do with your other parts of your background, your class, your ethnicity, your gender, that sort of thing. But schools are important. And sometimes some schools, it's been found, treat working class kids, poorer ones, quite poorly. For example, they treat them differently. For example, in some schools, if you're on a free school meal, they give you a ticket. And it's a different colour to the other tickets. They're showing you these kids are poor. You're being labelled to everybody else as one of the poor kids. This is the sort of thing, it's not done to be cruel, it's done thoughtlessly, because the school is run by middle class people who don't think about these things, which leads to speech patterns and more. The research shows schools are overwhelmingly middle class. The teachers are middle class. They speak a certain way. They dress a certain way. They think a certain way. They give off this vibe that what they do is important, what you think is not important. And the idea is this may put a lot of working class kids off. They don't fit in. They don't like it. It's not for them. Everyone there's so weird and so different, and they don't like me. They don't think, they don't rate me. They don't speak like me. Linked to that is the idea of ethos, has been found by some researchers. Schools have an ethos, we say. And this ethos is all about middle class stuff. Being good at certain things, speaking a certain way, behaving a certain way. Think of school uniform. Think of school uniform for a minute. Most school uniforms make you look middle class. That's the idea of them. The classic uniform that our school has, the blue with the yellow piping, the gold piping. You're copying public schools. And the idea is it's all telling kids subtly, secretly, you're not as good as these people. We're going to make you better by making you copy them. This is not a very encouraging message to people. And some schools do run lessons for working class kids, for kids who aren't maybe fantastic at geography and history. They can do motor mechanics and hair and beauty. But everyone sort of knows in school, oh, that's for the thick kids. You can do it, but if you're too stupid to do the real subjects. And that message, people hear that loud and clear. You are looked at, you are labelled as dumb if you choose to do this sort of thing. It's been made worse in the last few years by the EBAC. The curriculum has changed. So you've got to do English, math, science, either history or geography, and a modern foreign language like Spanish. Yeah? And if you can't do those things, you don't want to do those things, you're stupid. And who picked those subjects? Well, the middle class pick those subjects. They're the subjects they think are important, more important than the rest. Now, to an interactionist like Hargreaves, this is what partly leads to the anti-school subculture. These kids are turned off by school because school feels so alien to them. The posh teachers, the weird ethos and uniform, they're being labelled as stupid. They have to do these subjects they hate. And they form an anti-school subculture. It's working class kids who form the anti-school subculture.